let me now turn over the floor to the Secretary-General. Secretary-General.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I thank the United Kingdom for organising this briefing on COP26, which is scheduled to be held in Glasgow in November. And I welcome Mr. Alok Sharma, COP26 President-designate and Secretary of State for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy to the United Nations. And I can tell you it's wonderful to be in a briefing in this building and not to be the briefer. We have a huge task ahead of us. This is in so many respects a pivotal year for how we address climate change. And we have to aim high. If we are going to limit global heating to 1.5 degrees Celsius, we need to demonstrate starting this year how we will achieve emissions reductions of 45% from 2010 levels this decade, and how we will reach net zero emissions by mid-century. Let us be very clear, we are in an unfolding climate emergency. We continue to count the cost in human lives and livelihoods as droughts, wildfires, floods, and extreme storms take their deadly toll. In Glasgow, success depends on countries, the private sector and civil society demonstrating that they are taking significant steps to raise ambition on mitigation, adaptation and finance. We also need the continued assistance of key constituencies, like the youth, who have played such a vital role in spearheading the climate action movement. Excellencies, the United Nations system is thoroughly committed to helping the COP26 presidents to address the climate emergency and turn threat into opportunity. And we look forward to working with you. I see four main priorities for COP26. First, the national climate plans, the NDCs, must show that countries are working to implement the Paris Agreement, and each new NDC should show more ambition than the previous one. To date, even if the countries fully implement their existing plans, we will be on a course to reach more than 3 degrees of heating this century. The newly revised NDCs must set clear targets for 2025 or 2030 that will help us stick to the 1.5 degree limit. The second priority is to establish a common direction of travel, with all nations adopting strategies to reach net zero emissions by 2050. So far, 70 nations have announced that they are committed to achieving carbon neutrality by 2050. Many other constituencies are doing the same, such as cities, banks and businesses. But this still only represents less than 1/4 of global emissions. So while this is a good start, we must urgently make this commitment universal, and in particular, the largest emitters must commit or our efforts will be in vain. The third priority is for a robust package of programs, projects and initiatives that will help communities and nations adapt to climate disruption and build resilience against the impacts to come. The United Kingdom took the lead Egypt did last year at the Climate Action Summit. We will help you deliver results on the crucial issue of adaptation. And the fourth priority is finance. By COP26, developed countries must deliver on the commitment they took to mobilize $100 billion a year by 2020 with both public and private investment. And my new special envoy on climate action and climate finance, Mark Carney, that will also be working closely associated with the presidency of the COP, will engage with finance leaders on a number of priorities, including carbon neutrality, carbon pricing, disclosure of climate risk, scaling up green financial instruments, embedding climate into economics and financial priorities, and enhancing nationally determined contributions. We need to push for transformation in the way the financial sector works as a lever for more ambitious national government engagement and commitments. And that means that investments in renewables and green technologies must be seen to be increasing and paying off. And we need to see major steps to end the vast and wasteful subsidies for fossil fuels, which actually increased last year. And we need to put a price on carbon and see a commitment to end the construction of new coal power plants. Ultimately, COP26 needs to demonstrate that the world is moving quickly in the right direction. One way we can show progress is through the implementation of the initiatives launched at the last September's Climate Action Summit. These initiatives span all the main concerns, from building resilience and adaptation to action in key sectors that need significant transitions, such as energy, cooling, transport, shipping and infrastructure. They provide a firm foundation to build on. I count on the UK and Italy on the COP26 presidency, on member states, and on the full constellation of partners, including cities, the private sector, finance institutions, the philanthropic community and civil society, to commit to meaningful climate action. Such bottom-up ambition at the country level is crucial. Our task is made more difficult by the postponement of many meetings due to the ongoing coronavirus outbreak. But even as we work to contain and address the virus, we must also look to use every opportunity to build our climate action agenda. In the months ahead, we need to rebuild trust. We need to demonstrate that international cooperation is the only way to deliver meaningful results. We must close the gap between what people need and what happens at the negotiating table. I count on all nations and stakeholders to lead the way out of our current predicament by promoting clean, green growth, a just transition, and prosperity and stability for all. The UK presidency and Italy can fully count on the support of the United Nations system, and I thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Secretary-General, and thank you again for your personal leadership.